Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a study of Serral. Serral is a player who wins a lot. And he wins in a way that I don't. And that way is against Protoss. There is a TSL 9 replay pack that was posted. I'll actually try to get the link for that for you here in a second. Where's the replay pack? But I have the replays here, and I'm going to go over them, and I'm going to study these games and see how he breaks down the matchup. I want to look at his point of view a little bit here. Wait, is this the wrong? Is this the wrong game? It is. I wanted to start off with the wrong game here, just to make sure that we're paying attention to our surroundings. I'm looking for Serral versus Showtime. This is Serral versus Maru. We're gonna go up a folder. Here we go. Now we can begin the actual Zerg versus Protoss. The first step in beating Protoss is you need to face Protoss first, not Terran. And we have it now. Inside and Out is the first game. We're gonna take the units tab for some of this, because I want to see specifically how much he drones before he makes units. We're taking the vision of the mighty Serral. He's setting up his camera locations. I know how to do that. He's making his overlord. And I don't need to write down everything that he does, because some stuff is like standard protocol. You drone, you take bases, and so on. But if he does anything at a particular time, or if he adjusts to any particular read, I would like to see that. For some of these, I'll just articulate it verbally, like he rallies his second overlord to check for cannons. Even though his opponent is a macro player, he still respects the matchup and the opponent's ability to cheese if they randomly did something different. He goes up to 270 minerals, turns back around, and gets the base. Double stacking workers on the close mineral patches before the long mineral patches. He's droning. And he is droning. 18 gas, 17 pool. Everything is normal. First overlord is crossing the map. He puts the pool there. I'm not 100% certain of the significance of that pool placement, or if it matters that much, but now we know where he puts the pool on Inside and Out. He's got workers rallied into the gas. When the probe tries to harass the minerals, he attacks with a drone that was about to mine from that patch. Unless it's a far patch. He corrects it sometimes by spam clicking. This is a little mini game. In most leagues of play, Protoss players won't really do this properly. But at the high level, it is a way that Protoss tries to mess up the Zerg's mining somewhat. He's got a 20 overlord here, 2 queens, 4 lings. He's sending his third overlord. Did he only make 2 lings? Did he actually make 4? Find out in a few seconds. He made 4. Great. $30 supply third base. And he's taking the triangle third. Let me just get a quick build order write-up of what he's done so far. Inside and Out. 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. 2 queen, 4 ling. 20 overlord. Then he's also got 30 third base. And speed. Hold fully off gas. Cool. Now we'll see if anything else seems interesting or unique when he makes his next overlord is kind of noteworthy. But he's just got the 4 links. He makes a third queen into a 33 overlord. That's more or less what I do already. Still worth writing down. It's another Overlord at 36. Okay. And the injects fall, and he spends the larva into drones. He's rallying workers back into gas at like 3:15. Say rallying the inject of drones, I'll say of larva in the main into the gas at 3:15-ish. That's interesting. So his main base was saturated here. This is like some really, really, really high level shit that isn't going to matter for most people, but it's a really fun detail of what super high level players do. And that is trying to minimize the travel time between bases early on in the game. So these drones, these 3 drones, they could be rallied to this base. That would be fine. That would be cool. But he deliberately took the larva here and he clicked them into this, so they can immediately start mining here as a much more efficient route of they're now born in the world and they just take a few moments to hover and they're already harvesting gas, versus if they went from here over to the natural and then you pull workers into this and then you send workers later on back up to here. It can be kind of messy the way you saturate bases. So the way he's doing this right here is very clean and it means very little travel time. Another thing that I wanted to check here is his order of queen energy usage. Let's just take a look at this. Ragnarok Head, thank you for the 52 months of Apopto Poopers check. Does he double inject? Big think. He double injects. I have not been doing this, but Serral is a god gamer, so by golly, I'll try it. And I'll write it down. 2 Ling, 2 queen, 4 Ling, 20 overlord, Ling speed, pull off gas. And then queens both inject when born. And then when does he get his creep tumor? Question mark. The queen at the natural spends her second 25 energy into a creep tumor. And then this queen, I'm guessing, is going to inject. Just wait to confirm. Cool. Queen at nat injects. We'll say queen and nat creeps after first inject. Cool. I have not been doing that pattern. He's going to have a little bit more larva than I would for my build. And he got a 4th queen in the main when? Just ironing out some build order details here. I like how I said that I'm probably not going to write down all the build order stuff, and then I write down all the build order stuff. It ended up being different from my build. Okay, let's got the other queen at the natural. And then he just make this whenever he floats 150. When he's not supply blocked. Huh. Yeah, after the 36 Overlord, he gets another queen up here. And he's even doing this when he could spend it into more drones. This is a decision that he made. This queen here that he's cooking up costs the same minerals as these 3 larvae of drones, and he chose to make another queen. Interestingly enough, the reason why this jumps out at me as something that's pretty cool is because he would lose efficiency on mining past 2 base minimum saturation. And he's getting close to that already. And this base isn't quite ready to be droned up yet. Cool. Third queen at Nat. 36 Overlord, probably the inject larva. Okay, and then after the 36 Overlord, we've also got fourth queen start in the main. Stupendous. His inject uptime is basically 100%. Fourth queen creeps in the main. Cool. Fourth queen creeps from main to Nat when she is spawned. You can see the notes if you want to admire the notes. Each of these units has a job. You're born in Serral Swarm, you've got a job right away. Let's look at a couple other Overlord times here just to be very specific and precise about stuff. He did the 2 Overlords, one at 36, one at 33. And then after that, when does he make another one? Hmm? Hmm.
새로운 여왕 준비되라.
Hmm. Hmm. He's not making one for a bit because he's about to get the supply from the third base. That's pretty cool. He basically just drones up to 52. Drone and Ling. So he made 4 more Lings to get up to 52 at about 340-ish. So around when Ling speed is done. 50 supply. Make 4 more Lings. And then 52 supply, make 2 Overlords. The third base should be finishing up. Sweet.
여왕 생성 성공.
I just made 1. I don't understand these notes. They aren't in fun gel pen colors. They will get fun and beautiful colors once I want to get emphasis at the end. That's actually important. Notes that you take to learn should not only be legible, they should be beautiful. I agree with this. This is a good wisdom. And he's going for an Evo. This is about 4 minutes. So this is pretty normal for people who haven't really followed the Zerg versus Protoss meta. If you're against an Oracle type play, melee is a really good way to go. Melee Lings are very good value for their cost. So he's got his third base up. He got spores at some time, which I should double check here. Spores. 335. He might not want to because he's got another queen coming out here. One thing that I feel like I do too much is I just move my clump of queens around too much. And he's just keeping 350. 350 spore in main, spore in nat with 2 queens active in the main and the natural. That's cool. That's efficient. So he delayed his spores by a little bit. The safest time to get them would be 335. If you have 335 spore production and a queen at that base, you can defend against Oracle. But if he has 2 queens, he doesn't need a spore for the first Oracle. Cool. Cool, dude. Okay. 350. 1 spore in main and natural. Okay, we're gonna put this in bold and let's get some gel pen colors. And then we're also gonna say with this gel pen color, 2 queens at main and nat each until spores are done. Look at this. Let's get our overlord timings in a wonderful gel pen color. Bold that. So I'm not supply blocked. I've been supply blocked so much today. Having a week off StarCraft and you go back to StarCraft, you actually just supply block for the whole day. Patara, appreciate the support. Welcome Ursidon as well, and 12 Pool. We got Creation Gang hanging out. We're studying Serral versus Showtime right now. Trying to figure out how the heck to beat Protoss, because that's something that Serral can do that I'm still working on. So when he gets... I'm looking for what is the clue to make more Lings. He's got 8 right now. He's going up to 12. So 12 Lings.
여왕 생성 성공.
36 drones. He gets a 410 Evo-ish. Just write that down. Can we take melee here? You're tanking, but you're actually DPS. It's terrifying. Patar is having an identity crisis. He doesn't know what type of WoW role he's playing. What am I? You're a Death Knight. But am I a tank or am I a DPS? Yeah, that's what Death Knights are. He kills an adept and a pylon and leaves. Nice. Okay, so with the 12 Lings, he used 12 Lings to deal chip damage at Protoss 3rd if Oracle is not home. Cool. That's what he did. Meanwhile, he was droning, making pretty much all drones, and he gets Bane Nest after Ling speed. We'll just write down a time. 4:40. Check, check. 4:40 Bane Nest. 4:42. Full 40 full Bane Nest. That's just a fun time. That's why I wrote it that way. You're doing heroic during hold keep. Ragnarokette was in the video guide for that heroic, and was actually one of the most hilarious boss kills of all time. We actually all died and Thrall killed the last boss and we still won. Okay. So let's just get a general benchmark here of what he has at 5 minutes. Units. What does Serral have at 5 minutes against Showtime? 5 minutes. He has 5-minute benchmark. 5 larvae, 54 drones, 14. Oops. I think I just hit the wrong button. 54 drones, 14 Lings, 9 overlords, 6 queens. Is that it? Anything in production? 4 drones in production. Okay. That is the benchmark. Cool. And he's on 1 gas this whole time. He's hitting 3 base mineral saturation right at 5 minutes. So 54 with a few more on the way. That's pretty baller. And he's going for the 4th base. 4 drones producing, taking 4th base. 3 base, mineral, saturation with 1 gas. Bold. And then we make this green because green is the color of money. Sometimes. 5-minute benchmark. 3 base mineral with 1 gas. Boom. Perfect. Perfect. Bold. Control B that. Okay.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Running at this base, taking a 4th. And then he starts to reach for gases. And the rally points for his bases are to the nearest base. Cool. Okay, so after droning 3 base mineral, set rally points back to their own hatch and add gases. What were the ones that he added? He added a gas in the natural and 2 gases at the third. Cool. Does he just take all of them now? Let's take a peek. Mm-hmm. He's got 3 queens on a group, 6 queens total. He's got some 5 gas action going here. He didn't take the other one at the natural. When will he do that? The discipline of having 1 Ling at each 4th base location is pretty awesome. And then he checks the gases. Oof, that is a 6 scout. 6 scout, 6 minute. 1 Ling scout of 3rd base. That was baller. Dude, this is some Serral stuff. Serral is one of the players who is famous, infamous, world-renowned, respected by people of all ages because he does a 1 Ling scout. With no intention of dealing damage to anything and taking the very cheapest unit in the game. And he looks, he sees 3 gateways, no gas, 2 sentries, no gas, another probe that's being transferred, 2 stalkers in the wall, and 3 gateways, and a pylon and a backup pylon. That was incredible. Okay, I'm gonna make this bold. We're gonna get a gel pen color for this. Bold and gel pen color. 6 minute scout. We'll put that nice and bright red. Awesome. Does he stay on 5 gas? I'm curious about this. Layer's done. Melee 1 is almost done. 610 Hydra Den. Aha. Does he get the Hydra Den in reaction to the scout?
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
He does. Fantastic. Mirbor. Treat your zerglings as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. That sounds like Sun Tzu to me. Adapted for Zerg, and I'm here for it. Perfect. Okay, so he scouted. He scouted gateways at 3rd, no gas at 3rd. Few sentries, we'll say sentries. Stalkers, 3 Oracle. 610 Hydra Den. And the reason I put this here in the notes is because he may have 1 Ling scouted the 3rd base, and if he saw something different than what he saw, he might not have done what we're going to write down here for his build. Like maybe he sees it's no sentries there and there's like 10 zealots running at him. He probably won't drop a Hydra Den. He would probably just spend his gas into Banes. So that's the thing that if you're trying to study some pro games, take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of what they're choosing to do is a reaction to those key scouts. But yeah, dude, the 6 minute 6-minute 1 Ling scout. I wanted to check a 5-minute benchmark thing here as well. When does he get 1 Ling at each fourth? Basically now. 5 minutes.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
I wonder if it's noteworthy that he puts it here. Does anyone know, out of curiosity, either in the Twitch chat or the YouTube comments of this, if you're a pro Zerg out there, Lambo, E-Laser, maybe y'all know? Because the thought from me would be, if you put it here, you have a chance to block the probe. But it might be that the Protoss players that Serral's facing are so solid that they're going to have an escort with it, so the Ling would just get killed there anyway. But this Ling has a chance to see the base and live and not attack into it. Wouldn't it be the most hidden place? Yeah, so I guess to try to understand this Ling's position, the advantage that it has is Protoss can take a base, and this Ling will not be seen by the building nexus or the army, which means that it can continue to be the scout on this side of the map. So he's got a scout on either side of the opponent's territory, and he's got pretty good overlord spread as well. His bases are connected, and he has creep moving out in front of his 4th base. Awesome.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Bringer of Dreams, thank you for the 9 months. Yeah, I'm imagining the probe's route. It goes in here and it, boom, builds the nexus and then kind of sits next to it. Maybe it makes a building somewhere. Okay. So he's droning up now. He does his 6-minute scout. Queen's trying to shoo away the Oracle pressure at the 4th base. Creep is going out in front. Alright. Spreading creep. 6-minute Ling scout. Beautiful play. Precision. Efficiency. Intelligence gathering.
여왕 생성 성공.
Takes the Hydra Den. 610. And he doesn't take a 5th gas. He cancels the Hydra Den.
유전자.
He rebuilds the Hydra Den. Was this a mistake? Maybe he's trying to hide it. And he doesn't care when the Hydras arrive. Huh. I'm just going to leave the note as 610. I don't need to do the fancy cancel move. 140 IQ mind games. This is more like 1,400 IQ mind games. +2 melee. Bane speed. Those are the next gas investments. +2 melee. Oops. Okay. And what? Let's do another benchmark at 7 minutes. Angelic, thank you for the 43 months of support. He saw oracles and rebuilt it. Yeah, he already knew the oracles were there. It kind of looked like he was canceling it to hide it, and then he put it on the far side where the oracles were not. But I don't know how, like, Protoss could react to seeing Serral have a Hydra Den and be like, oh, now I'm just going to counter him with this. That's interesting. But he's staying on 5 gas. Let's get the 7-minute benchmark here. 7 minutes. All right. 7-minute benchmark. He has 76 drones, 57 Lings, 14 Overlords, 4 Banes, 7 Queens. Anything else? Production tab. 24 Lings on the way. He has 4 bases and 5 gas. This is really interesting. Okay. Put this in parentheses. 4 base, mineral, 5 gas. Whoa, 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 whoa. Boom. It's bolded now. Alright. We got the +2 stuff, Hydra, Ling, Bane. Serral, show us the way. He goes muscle augments before range. Noteworthy. Okay, just put this here. Muscular augments before Hydra range. Interesting. He wants his Hydras to be strong before they can shoot from far away. I'm gonna write down this random attack for fun. Did he just do an intentional scout with that one Ling? He's got 23 Lings on a key. Wow. The one Ling scouts. Okay, so he had units in a separate control group. Keep some Lings in a control group on the map near their 4th base. When army steps on creep, example, 7 minutes. Send Lings at enemy 4th. Cool. It's a backstab team. A backstab team of 22. So pretty sizable, actually. 22 Lings. I doubt that it's that exact number that he's going for. But we're just going to write it down as 22 Lings. Can we get some like Peepo notes and shit in the chat? Neuro notes, Apopto notes? I think it helps us study if we just use that at least regularly while I'm typing this. Thank you. Thank you, chat. Alright. He makes 8 Banes. Kind of fun to note that. He made 8 Banes whenever they stepped onto creep. Okay. And then he's making Hydras. How many does he end up making? Serral is too fast of a player for me to watch at 2x. Okay, Groove Spine's after. And he has now officially stopped making Hydras. This is a very important thing to write down. He made 15 exactly. The Hydra, with this unit composition of Ling, Bane, Hydra, you don't really want to be throwing Hydras at the opponent, and Hydras are dying in battle. The way that this composition can really be its most effective is to have a Hydra backline that always shows up to fights and always leaves when it's safe to leave. And then they show up again later. So he should be conserving his Hydras here. A common mistake that I will make and some other people will make is they'll spam Hydras and then die to Storm or Archons. They're pretty counterable units, and they don't really scale that well. So it's like a mid-game piece to his army that he can use to survive and really try to deny a 5th base, but not really one that's going to be part of a late-game army. But this is a short rush map. So he makes 15 Hydras. Make exactly 15 Hydras. And no more. Okay, I want to try that. I think that's one of my bad habits as a player in ZVP, because Hydras used to be so good in the matchup. And they've progressively gotten worse over time, but they do still have a place. Specifically in this unit comp. And then what does he transition into? Does he just spam Ling Bane?
광맥 소진됨. 변이 완료. 광맥
He
고갈됨.
takes the rest of his gases and he gets Infestation Pit. I'm just going to write down 9 minutes because my early game is basically never going to be as good as his was. And he's taking them just a couple seconds earlier. 9 minutes will be easier to remember. 9 minutes. Take Infestation Pit. And he took 3 more gases. Take rest of gases. And then what does he have at this point in terms of drones? Off about 80 drones. Okay. When does he take his 5th base? Took this a bit ago. 8 minutes. It's Serral. Moss is correct. 7-minute 5th base. Hey, Pompto notes. A 7-minute 5th base. Fantastic. Start your 5th base. Okay. And after the 15 Hydras, he's basically just spamming Ling Bane.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Whenever the opponent steps on creep, he backstabs and adds Banes at the same time. As soon as the Zealots show up, he leaves.
공격받고 있음.
He scouts and leaves. Cool. When Zealots show up to defend, scout into Protoss, and retreat with most Lings. This is a really cool procedure. He gets a ton of informational value with this at the cost of just boxing some Lings in the other way. Big brain. And very fast. Look at that scout. He just got to see there's no gases there with that one Ling.
군단 병력이 공격받고 있음.
Protoss took a pretty fast 4th. Ask the chat. Yes. So the style, just to like real quick, big picture, describe Showtime. Showtime is a macro god Protoss. He plays clean, correct, safe. standard, unkillable, but able to be on offense if he wants to, and very high probe. So Showtime is basically the same archetype of player as Serral. They're both really solid macro players, and they both played a really kind of respectful. They're doing harass here and there. They're biting at their opponent. They're kind of scouting and checking their stuff, but they're not YOLOing into each other with like committed timings or all-ins. They're playing very mineral focused for the most part, expansion oriented, defensive, and solid play. He is doing stuff with the Oracles. He is doing stuff with Zealots. He did run his army at Serral. So there's the potential to deal damage, but they're kind of just like crashing into each other at this point, and no one's dead. They're both pretty much in it. Which means that Serral would probably play very differently if there was like a YOLO Protoss who's doing a 2-base all-in. He would not have 80 drones and Hydra Ling Bane. He's defending Zealots and stuff. Retaking his 5th. Creeper spreading. As it should. It always has that squad on the far side. So the harass team is on the opposite side of the map as the main army.
유전자 변형됨. 광물지대 말라버림.
Still got Hydra Ling Bane. Did he start his hive? Is this? No, that was the 9 minutes. He's getting toward hive, but it's not ready yet. Hydras run in, you can't explain that. He's got the 15 Hydras, none of them have died yet. Pretty god mode force fields. Serral is going at him though. He's trying to get the Banes on the storm, but he does not succeed. As the Ling Bane stuff dies, he walks back with the Hydras. And he has been spamming Lings this whole time. And then he will re-up his Banes. And he injects faster than anyone in the world. That's helpful. Okay, once he has 20 Banes-ish, he starts running at the Protoss again. He knows Protoss is only on 4 bases right now, and he's on 5. He's agreeing to trade Banes into basically anything but Archons. He runs the Banes past them. And he's just got 79 drones ramming in. And then he gets Hive. Basically as the game is over. But I think the main big picture idea of this was the 80 drone max out. So he's got up his 5th base. He's actually behind his opponent in workers, so he's definitely being the aggressor here. And then he's showing up 10 minutes. Do I have a benchmark for 10 minutes yet? I do not. So 10-minute hit. He's got what? 79 drones, 11 Hydras. He's got 10 Banes morphing and 22 Banes. 30 Banes, just write down. Ish is fine. 28 Lings. And he has 165 supply. Cool. And he's just running at the 3rd. He's not fucking around. This isn't like some fancy Bane drop over here. Nidus play. He's just running at the third. Okay. Basically, retreat Hydras after Ling Bane dies. Produce Lings and inject throughout the fight. Okay. Was that the first swing at him? Or did he swing at him first? Because he had 15, I thought. It'd be pretty cool if he hit with the same amount of stuff at this time. He basically does. He has more Lings in this attack even. No, this is higher supply. Okay, so it was a 9-minute attack. 9-minute attack. He's got 15 Hydras. 63 Lings. That'd be crazy. 163 Lings and like 35 Banes. We'll ballpark these. Yep. He does not hotkey his inject queens. He does. It's right here. He uses the rapid fire method. He's basically got his creep tumors in the lanes that he wants, and then he's just focusing his queens on injecting. He has no queens that are actively running and trying to spread creep right now. He's focusing on the fight. He could have a squad of 4 queens that was like creeping over here right now. But he's definitely going for a more directly lethal approach. Just like, I'm going to run at your base with heavy Bane. And he takes +1 range after this. Okay. +1 ranged after +2 melee. Sweet. Yeah, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gas. 7 gas, 5 base. Did I put the econ here? I think when I put take rest of gases, he didn't take the rest of them. Say go up to 7 gases. Okay. Should be green. Vespine is green stuff. Well, awesome. This is a solid heckin' style. Inside it now can be bold and blue. So this is Serral versus Showtime. On a map that's pretty short rush. He didn't even place these overlords on the map. That's how focused he was on making Banes and killing the Protoss. And both players played pretty macro this game. Oracles flew around. Serral defended it in a really elegant way. Welcome, Trisha Payne. We are studying Serral right now. Basically, he played against Showtime, who is a very righteous macro Protoss. Showtime takes bases. He makes good defense for them. If you were a probe, think of it this way. If you're a probe who exists, and there are different Protoss gamers who are actually like bosses and commanders, you would want to work for Showtime. You'll be relatively safer. Look at this. Look at these working conditions for you at the 4th base. If you're a probe,
일벌레
let's go to
공격성.
Showtime's vision. This is his macro setup. You're a probe in a pro StarCraft match. I would want to be one of Showtime's probes. You've got 5 cannon frontline with gateway support. The thickness here, 500 shield, 500 health each. You've got shield batteries for any warped in units you get here. And if the army needs to fall back, they can fall back to shield batteries. Or if you're a probe and you're getting harassed by mutas, the shield batteries can give you shields. So Showtime's base defense is really heckin' nice. That's one of his strengths as a player. So yeah, if you're a probe looking for like which match to spawn into, I would say a Showtime game. Serral does end up winning this match. Serral is also very good. He played a Hydra Ling Bane style. It was really solid. We wrote down a bunch of timings. And these are the notes. Let's just go over them real quick. This will help me remember them and catch up anyone who is joining late. This was inside and out. They played on a short rush map. He went hatch gas pool, 2 queen, 4 Ling, 20 overlord, Ling speed, pulls fully off gas. The queens both inject, and then you make a 3rd queen at the net. The queen at the natural creeps after the first inject, 33rd base, 3rd queen, 33 overlord, 36 overlord, 4th queen, start of the main. Rally the injective larva in the main to the gas at 315. This is a thing to lower down the transfer of workers between your bases, just to be a little bit more crisp. 4th queen creeps from main to net when she's born. 351 sport, main and natural, and I have 2 queens at the main and the natural each until spores are done. This is to be tight against Chronode Oracle. 50 supply, make 4 more Lings, and then at 52 make 2 overlords, and you're benefiting from the supply of the 3rd base. After making these 2 overlords, you're basically droning this whole time. 410 Evo Chamber, go up to 12 Lings, take melee. Use 12 Lings to deal chip damage at Protoss 3rd. The Oracle's not home. 444 Bane Nest. Let's get some bold in color on these. Bold. Bane Nest Bombus. Boom. That's so bright. We'll leave it. 5-minute benchmark. He's got 5 larvae, 54 drones, 14 Lings. Basically 3 base mineral saturation with 1 gas, and he's taking a 4th base at 5 minutes. 6 minutes, he does a 1 Ling scout. After the 3 base droning, set the rally points back to their own hatch and add gases. Aha. Let's get this. After getting the 3 base mineral, rally points back to their own hatch. So in this particular game, he scouted a gateway base style with no gas at 3rd, and he went for a 610 Hydra Den. He gets +2 melee. Bane speed, he gets muscular augments before range. At 7 minutes, he's basically 4 base saturated with 5 gas. And then he starts his 5th base. Keep Lings in a control group to backstab anytime they attack. "22 Ling backstab group." Let's do it. Okay. Boom. When the army steps on creep, send the backstab group at the 4th and add Banes to the army. When zealots try to defend, scout into the base and retreat with most of the Lings to keep them alive. Make exactly 15 Hydras and no more. This is a super interesting part of this whole style. Super bright colors. Let's go. Gases. It's 2 S's. Jeez Louise. The whole sheet was ruined. Do we have any more of those issues? Thank you. All right, 15 Hydras and no more. 9-minute infestation pit, 7 gases, emphasis on the second S and the third S here. There are 3 S's in gases. Okay. 80 drones, +1 ranged after +2 melee is done. 9 minutes you attack them. Big time. 15 Hydra, 60 Ling, 35 Bane. And you've got 80 drone economy with 7 gas. 10-minute, he hits him again. So he's basically just turning on the jets and just bashing into him at like 9 to 10 minutes. And then running the Banes at the Protoss third. Trading Banes with anything except for the Archons. And then produce Lings throughout the fight. Retreat Hydras after the Ling Bane dies. And he basically repeats that until showtime falls over. Fantastic. Thank you, Serral, for showing us a thing that you can do against Protoss that actually works. Brilliant. Put your no emotes in the chat. We have learned from Serral. Hell yes. Thank you, Serral, for showing us the way.